Mets fans are furious with Steve Cohen right now. Joey Gallo is signing as a pitcher. The Dodgers are going absolutely insane, bringing in the best pitcher, plus making an offer for Kyle Tucker. And there's so much more to cover. Let's dive in. The Braves made some noise last night by signing Mike Yastrzemski to a 2-year, $23 million deal with a third-year option. Atlanta had barely made any moves in free agency, and now they're strengthening their outfield mix with a left-handed bat who finished last season strong. Yastrzemski is coming off playing with the Giants and then the Royals, and now he'll be wearing his third uniform in less than a year. Earlier yesterday, the Orioles shocked everyone by signing Pete Alonso to a 5-year, $155 million contract. That's a massive deal for one of the most feared bats in the league. Alonso turned down guaranteed money with the Mets to pursue this long-term deal, and in Baltimore he arrives to protect Gunnar Henderson and Samuel Basallo in the heart of the lineup. The Orioles want to get back to October, and this move makes that crystal clear. The Orioles also made room on their roster by designating catcher Drew Romo for assignment. That move opened up a spot to claim left-hander Josh Walker, who comes over from the Braves to reinforce the bullpen. Meanwhile, the Phillies also shuffled their pieces and acquired right-hander Johnny DeLuca from the Rays. Tampa had placed him on waivers after signing Cedric Mullins, and now Philadelphia is increasing their group of young arms, bringing their 40-man roster up to 35 players. And Joey Gallo, the king of strikeouts, wants to return to the major leagues, but not as an outfielder. Now he wants to do it as a pitcher. MLB teams have already shown interest, according to John Heyman, and they see him as a real experiment, not just some crazy idea. Gallo always had a tremendous arm, and on his social media, he's been showing videos throwing with serious velocity. After hitting more than 40 home runs in consecutive years and winning 2 Gold Gloves, now he wants to completely reinvent himself. His last season was in 2024 with the Nationals, where he struggled at the plate, but this new chapter could give him a second life in the league. If he lands a contract, we could see him on a mound very soon. The Giants continue with a quiet winner, but they urgently need arms for their bullpen after losing Randy Rodriguez to Tommy John surgery. They tried to go after Devin Williams. They signed Sam Hentges, but they still need more. Susan Slusser reports that San Francisco has been in contact with Michael Kopech, an arm with tremendous talent but battered by injuries. With the Dodgers, he only threw 11 innings because of shoulder and knee problems, though he showed power with a fastball sitting at nearly 98 miles per hour. The problem was the walks that exceeded his strikeouts. Still, at only 30 years old, the Giants believe a short-term contract could rescue his career. If he can stay healthy, Kopech could be a steal to reinforce that desperately needed bullpen. The Orioles aren't stopping after signing Pete Alonso. Now they're still hunting for pitching, and the names that keep coming up are Ranger Suarez and Framber Valdez, 2 elite left-handed arms who would fit perfectly into their rotation. But it doesn't end there because, according to The Athletic, Baltimore is also involved in conversations for Edward Cabrera from the Marlins. And additionally, John Morosi reported they've maintained constant communication with the Nationals about Mackenzie Gore, which would be a historic move between neighboring franchises. The Orioles are aggressive with money to spend and several prospects to negotiate with. The arrival of Alonso creates overcrowding at first base, and that opens the door to possible changes with names like Ryan Mountcastle. Baltimore is going all out this winter. The Red Sox continue evaluating pieces to strengthen their bullpen, and one of the names on their table is Seranthony Dominguez. Nothing is imminent yet, but the 31-year-old right-hander is a proven arm who mixes strikeouts, ground balls, and experience in pressure moments. In over 300 major league innings, Dominguez has an ERA of 3.50 with a solid strikeout percentage and more than 40 saves. His last season was a roller coaster between the Orioles and Blue Jays, though he finished with a 3.16 ERA and a great whiff rate. The Red Sox aren't desperate. Their bullpen was one of the best in the league, but there's always room to add a stronger piece in the late innings. If the price is reasonable, Dominguez could fit very well in Boston. And the Phillies remain active this offseason. After securing Kyle Schwarber and extending their manager, now they want to keep their star catcher at home, JT Realmuto. According to MLB.com, they've already made him a formal offer while he explores the market. Real Muto, at 34 years old, continues to be one of the most complete catchers in the league. His offensive production has dropped in recent years, but his defense, leadership, and durability keep him as an elite player. That's why Philadelphia believes he can still contribute a lot. Since he arrived in 2019, Real Muto has been the heart behind the plate, and losing him would be a heavy blow for the Phillies. His decision will be key for the team's immediate future. With free agency in full swing, Philadelphia is demonstrating they want to compete now. The ball is now in Real Muto's court, and the entire league is waiting for his response. Not long ago, we were talking about Edwin Diaz being the most desired free agent, but after his signing with the Dodgers, now the most desired free agent on the market is the Venezuelan Robert Suarez, and several teams are pursuing him hard. The Braves are the most aggressive, the Blue Jays remain very much in the conversation, and the Mets are also there. The truth is, there are several other clubs asking about him because Suarez is coming off 2 elite seasons, and that puts him in position to land a huge contract. With few closers available, his value increases every day, and right now, Robert Suarez is the name moving the bullpen market across the entire league. The Rangers have received many calls asking about Corey Seager, but the reality is clear. Texas doesn't want to trade him. Teams like the Yankees, Red Sox, and Braves have reached out, though without deep conversations. Seager is an MVP caliber player with a long-term contract and too important for the Rangers to let go. Additionally, moving him would involve absorbing an enormous commitment that very few teams can handle without falling into luxury tax penalties. Texas isn't offering Seager and would only consider it if someone delivers an exaggeratedly large package. In summary, there's interest across the league, but the Rangers have no intention of letting him go. The offseason is just beginning, but Mets fans feel the team has already lost too much. First, Brandon Nimmo left heading to Texas, then Edwin Diaz signed with the Dodgers, and now Alonso left for Baltimore on a massive contract. 3 consecutive blows that have left the fan base frustrated and pointing directly at owner Steve Cohen. Many remember that when Juan Soto arrived last year, Cohen promised a more competitive team, and today, almost in 2026, it looks weaker than ever. The bullpen has holes. They're missing a top-level starter, and the lineup lost its middle bat. Cohen understands the anger and said there's still a lot of offseason left, but fans want to see action. He needs strong moves now if he doesn't want this winter to mark another step backward. The winter meetings ended, but Freddy Peralta's name continues burning up the market. And the Red Sox, Giants, Orioles, and Astros have already picked up the phone, and even the Mets are asking about him. In Milwaukee, they say it's been a week full of calls. Not surprising, Peralta enters his last year before free agency and is coming off a brutal season. 2.70 ERA and more than 200 strikeouts. Plus, he'll earn around $8 million, an incredibly low salary for a pitcher of that level. That said, whoever wants Peralta will have to pay dearly. The Brewers know exactly what they have, and they're not going to give him away. Finally, the Dodgers don't want to slow down. And if it hurts the fans of the other 29 teams, well, they're willing to cause even more pain. After signing Diaz, the team remains aggressive, and now they're going all in for Tarik Skubal, the left-hander from the Tigers. At the winter meetings, there were serious conversations, and the prospect package from Los Angeles caught a lot of attention in Detroit. The deal is so advanced that it only needs approval from the Tigers owner. The Dodgers aren't going to release that young talent without guarantees and want to make sure Skubal is willing to sign an extension before closing the trade. But the madness doesn't end there. They're also flirting with the idea of offering Kyle Tucker a short but juicy contract. It wouldn't be a 6 or 7 year deal, but one capable of breaking the market and strengthening a lineup that already strikes fear. The back-to-back champions remain hungry, they keep hunting elite talent, and if nobody stops them, this winter could become another giant statement from the most aggressive team in all of MLB.